Your own YouTube channel Speak Up with Sahil. Today in this video we are going to talk about the importance of reading newspaper and why should you read newspaper. So the way people read newspapers, somewhat I feel that should not be the right way to read. There are a lot of people who read newspapers in such a great way, but now in this video we are going to talk about what is the importance of reading an amazing and how to read newspaper properly. So this is what we are going to discuss here. So I welcome back to the channel Speak Up with Sahil. We are diving into an incredibly important skills, mastering how to read newspapers effectively in a world where you can say staying updated can give you a real edge. Knowing how to read newspapers the right way is more important than ever. Whether you are a student preparing for exams or professional, like keeping up with industry trends, or just someone who loves to stay informed, this video is for you. I'm going to share some of the best tips and strategies that will help you to read newspaper quickly and effectively so you can stay on top of what's happening around the world without wasting hours of your day. So let's get started. So the first point we have to discuss why reading newspaper is very important. This is what we are going to learn. So newspaper is very important because I believe like when you are going to learn something, first you need to understand why are you going to learn that and why is it very important for you to read newspaper. First let's talk about why reading newspaper is such a valuable habit. Newspapers are not just about the latest headlines. They offer in-depth information on a range of topics like politics, economics, sports, and even entertainment. You can say reading newspapers regularly can help you improve your vocabulary, enhance your general knowledge, and keep you informed about current events. This is especially important for those preparing for competitive exams or interviews where current affairs are a key component. Plus, it helps you develop a well-rounded understanding of the world, which is crucial for making informed decisions and engaging in meaningful conversation. So if you are not reading newspaper yet, you are missing out on a powerful tool for growth and personal growth as well. I have been reading newspaper since I've started preparing for an exam. Recently I'm not, but once I was a big active aspirant of that particular exam. That made me a very punctual in reading newspapers, and I have been reading newspapers for a long time. And from my own personal experience, as I'm a moderator of a debate room where we discuss on several topics including current affairs, news, and many more subjects as well. So there, what I have found so far, I have found there are people who are quite unaware of talking on different subjects including politics, current affairs, economics, and many more things. And until and unless I'm not talking about the news and current affairs topics, all of them stay to speak with me. But once I start talking upon the current affairs and other topics, all of them start leaving the place. This is one of the worst thing that I have found about those people who are not interested in reading newspaper. Discuss the past one, why should you read newspapers. Now the second important point, we're going to discuss how to choose the right newspaper for you. There are a lot of readers who may have asked to me that like, sir, how to choose a perfect newspaper for me to read. So there is an important way to do that, and this is what I'm gonna tell you. So now let's move on to how to choose the right newspaper. Not all newspapers are created equal. The first thing to do is to pick a reputable source. For example, in the US, you have the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and if you're in India, you might go for the Indian Express, the Times of India. Or if you are in the UK, then you will go for the Guardian, you will go for the Sun, you will go for the Mirror, and you will go for the Independent. So there are a lot of newspapers. It clearly depends on your country, like in which country you are living. So when you are living in Russia, then you might have to go according to your own way. So like in India, as I told you, you can read these newspapers. But if you're interested in international news, there are two types of news. I will try to analyze these things in a separate video, like what kind of news are there, but this topic cannot be covered in 4 or 5 minutes video. Meanwhile, whatever topic I have got in my hands, I would like to tell you one thing, that in India, as I told you, you can go with this news, UK, and you can search according to your own country, which country is more reputable, respected, and trustworthy. But when it's come to other international news, then I would say that go with the Economist. From my experience of 6 years, I would definitely ensure you to go with the Economist. It is a different stuff that it is not free. You need to get a premium version of this application, but for that you can go with the Guardian, because this Guardian Guardian application does not charge you a single penny for certain articles. So until and unless you have not crossed your limits of reading news articles per day, they will not charge you a single amount of money. There are a lot of people who say BBC is quite biased. It's their clearly their own opinion. I would not say anything about such applications or such news tabloids, whether they are a bias or what they are. But I would say, like, be careful before choosing any newspaper for you, because this is the play of game. So it's important to diversify your source so you get balanced views of world events. And if you have specific interest like business or you can say sports, look for newspaper that have dedicated sections that go into detail on those topics. This will save you time and make your reading more relevant. Might have been like raising into your mind, which is what are the ways to read newspaper properly. As we know, newspapers can be very longer, and it is not possible for us to just really read all of the news and the headlines which have been printed over there. So the key point is to strategies for efficient reading. The key is to focus on the sections that matter most to you. I recommend starting with a quick skim. Look at the headlines, subheadings, and images. This will give you an overview of what's in today's edition. Next, move on to scanning. Pick articles that catch your attention and read the first few paragraphs to see if they are worth your time. Focus on the 5 Ws and 1 H: who, what, where, when, why, and how. This is what I always follow. So the 5Ws means 1H. 5W, 1H means who, what, where, when, why, and how. These are usually covered in the opening paragraphs, which means you don't have to read the entire articles to get the main points. Also, don't hesitate to highlight key points to jot down notes. This not only helps you to remember what you have read, but also makes it easier to review later. If you're reading online, use tools like Pocket or like Taper to save articles far later, so you can read them when you have more time. Identify key points. This is very important to identifying key information. One of the most important skills in newspaper reading is identifying key information quickly. Focus on articles that have a significant impact. Think major political decisions, economic updates, or international events. Pay attention to the headlines, subheads, and any text that's bold or highlighted. Often these parts of the article summarize the main points, and remember, you don't need to know every detail. Just getting the gist of the major stories is often enough, especially if you are reading multiple sources. Editorials and opinion pieces can also be valuable. They help you understand different viewpoints on current issues, but be sure to approach them critically. These are opinions, not facts, so consider them just one perspective among many of mine. And this last point is important to notice, which is improving retention and understanding. To make the most of your newspaper reading, it's essential to retain and understand what you read. One great way to do this is by summarize the news in your own words. After reading an article, take a minute to mentally recap and main points, or write down a quick summary. Discussing what you have read with friends or colleagues is also a fantastic way to reinforce your understanding and gain new insights. Another tip is to connect the dots between what you read and post news stories, and this will help you to see the bigger pictures and understand the context behind ongoing issues. So the retention you can do by connecting the news articles which you have already read in the past. For example, if you see the Russia and Ukraine war, which has been going on for the last 3 years, so now what happens whenever you read something today, then try to connect it with tomorrow's stories, because these headlines are going to get covered each and every day on the newspapers. So example, when you have read something related to Israel and Hamas today, read it tomorrow as well, and try to connect the dots of the yesterday newspapers with the today's newspaper. That's what I would say and recommend you highly to do that. And the rest of the things you can do, just after reading the newspaper, try to summarize it in your own word. For example, if you have read a long news stories, which you don't need to read, by the way, as I said, newspapers are just the opinions, not the fact. So by the end of the day, you need to make your own idea over the subject. What do you exactly think about it? What I would say to those who read newspapers, so there you have it, a complete guide to mastering newspaper reading by choosing the right source, focusing on key sections, and using effective reading strategies. You can stay updated and informed without spending hours sifting through every page. Remember, the goal isn't to read everything but to read smart. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel for more tips on staying informed, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below on which tip you found the most useful, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and happy reading, happy journey.